Welcome to Conservative Voices Talking Points. You asked what are they pulling our attention away from? We'll use this as a segue as to what they're drawing our attention to, right? With Afghanistan going on, and that's on everyone's mind right now, and probably for at least the immediate future, the foreseeable future. The other topic at hand is vaccines and COVID-19, right? We're a year and a half into, at least since shutdowns began and things like that in the U.S. We're a year and a half into it. We're dealing with, according to the news and media sources, these different variants that can attack different things. So we've got an administration going back to, again, the federal level. We've got a Biden administration that is looking to mandate vaccines, looking to increase the percentage of Americans that have taken vaccines, putting pressure on private businesses. There's a lot to this, but you asked, what are they pulling attention away from? It's probably a lot of things, but I know what they're guiding attention to or attempting to guide attention to, and it's COVID-19, it's coronavirus. Eric, we'll start with you. Give us kind of your thoughts, at least in the recent couple of weeks, where we stand, Iowa, where we stand kind of as a country, and what you mentioned some average Joe French, Joe Canada, what Joe America's thinking about mandates.
Well, first of all, again, talking about Biden failures, you've got spiking numbers. You've got the only thing that the White House wants to talk about right now is COVID-19, because that's the only thing that is polling well. You have a president and you have an administration that their main concern and their focus is polling and making everybody feel as good and as happy as possible, and just, you know, kicking the can down the road and not leading, but just telling everyone exactly what they want to hear. The reason I hate politicians is those that just tell us what we want to hear, not what we need to hear, not being real leaders. But getting back to the mandates, I hate the word mandate. I mean, I don't want to be told or forced to do anything ever, especially the U.S. government, especially this administration, telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing and mandating all of these things to us. I think that's taking away our freedoms, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Fortunately, when we're talking about Iowa, we have a governor that has said that there's not going to be a mask mandate, and that there's not going to be mandated vaccines, because she believes in that liberty and that our rights as Iowans, our rights as citizens. And now looking, you know, coming from the other perspective, the federal government and the Biden administration focused on mandating everything.
When was the last time we heard the word mandate in a government vernacular? The insurance, Obamacare, wasn't that a mandate? So, how did that go? So I don't mean to cut you off.
No, but this is we've got to get away from the mandates. I'm tired of the mandates, and but let's talk about the vaccines. Let's talk about the vaccine mandate. I know, one of the articles that I read yesterday, Delta, my airline and who I have most of my miles with and all of my stuff, for their employees, mandated vaccines, or they pay $200 a month more towards their health care. Is that right?
What about cigarettes?
Right. I think they should. I think cigarette smokers should pay more.
And I used to smoke. I'm glad I quit.
Yeah.
But I would have paid more because I paid up to $10 a pack when I was. So,
Well, and let's start at the school level. We'll kind of go up to employment level. Gentry, in previous episodes, you'd mentioned, rightly so, that parents should control anything that has to do with their children, right? We look at the state of Florida right now, and Governor DeSantis, a Republican, has announced that parents have the right to dictate what their children can and can't do when it comes to masks, when it comes to vaccines, when it comes to life in general. I think conservatives would agree with that.
Yes, absolutely. I think that when it comes to schools, there are a whole variety of things. One is an ideological matter, and I know we'll get to this on private businesses as well, where it gets a little trickier from my perspective. But as an ideological matter, the school is a public accommodation, right, for the most part, unless we're talking about private schools. It's a government institution. The government should not be mandating these things. Period. Full stop. On top of that, you've got the issue that most kids in school are not in the high-risk group. They're not in a high-risk age group, and that these masks have all kinds of other problems. Right? I mean, I'm the parent of 7 kids. My wife and I have 7 kids at home, including a couple that are still early in elementary school. You know, these masks come home filthy, or they come home with the wrong kid's mask, or they come, right? And we're doing that to kids that are not in a risk group in the first place. So in terms of the mask mandate, number one. Secondly, in terms of the vaccine mandate, it is not been approved for kids that are under, I think, 12 at this point. And even there's some question about kids who are still growing, right? Are you really at risk? So I think parents ought to have the ability to make those decisions. If you think it's important for your child to wear a mask, if you think it's appropriate for your child to have a vaccine, that's a decision that a parent, in consultation with their doctor and their kid, can make. But for the government to mandate those things broadly, totally unacceptable.
And having four kids myself, I'll tell you, masks for these kids do not work. As Gentry said, they're disgusting. They're dirty. They're not worn properly. They have several mask breaks during the day. They eat lunch together at the same tables without masks on. I do not get the science or the logic or the data, and I know everyone, I'm sure, will put comments or whatever, or Dr. Fauci will give me a call. Hopefully. But I mean, being a parent of these kids and watching them go to school, dropping them off each day and picking them up each day, I can see how an N95 mask works in a hospital setting. I can see that working 100%. But these kids going to school on an August 99-degree day and going out to recess, these masks are not helping, and they're not protecting them from anything. Not that they have to be protected anyway, because they're not in the class and age where it would, turn to death or serious illness. So I don't get the logic at all. I think it's virtue shaming from the left to the right, trying to make us feel bad because we love freedom.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves, though, right? I mean, where is the concern for the mental health, the psychological health, the developmental health of these kids? Where's the concern for that? Marionette Miller Meeks, who's our member of Congress from southeastern Iowa, made the very salient point. Now, this is a physician, a surgeon, a former public health director, someone who's very much in favor of the vaccine, although not a vaccine mandate, right? She'll go and give you the vaccine if you want to get it from a member of Congress. So there's not some anti-vax, person out there. But she's made the point for months and months and months that this isn't just a matter of one life or one health decision. This is life versus life. This is health decision versus health decision. When you put these things on a kid's face, there are physical health consequences, there are mental health consequences, there are developmental health consequences, and we're not giving any consideration to those. Who ought to be ashamed of themselves? It's the liberals who are using these things for politics.
You want to know something my wife brought up?